Okay, we're ready. Hey, my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday edition of the Daily Draw. Every Wednesday, we get together and draw something that has to do with the portrait. On Mondays, we look at something that is natural. Tuesdays, we always look at something that is man made. Wednesday is something with the portrait. Thursday is something that has to do with character of the whole body, character idea, and then Friday's animals, okay? So here we are. Bam! Who's in the house? Geraldine has chimed in. Good evening, Geraldine. How are you? I'm so glad you're with me. And everyone else. So, okay, so let's look at this. So in the next half an hour, what I want to do is I have 3 different portraits, and I want to walk through the beginning stages of drawing the whole head in 10 minutes, okay? Now, we're not going to get to super details, but I just want to get the general structure down for you. And we'll do it nice and slowly and methodically so you could step out each of the steps along the way, okay? So, here's, like, when I start thinking of face structure, I've done it so much that it's just imprinted in my head. So at some point you can it's just in your head, and it makes drawing a little bit easier as you draw the face, because you don't have to worry about getting all those perfect lines. But at this stage, maybe you're at a point where we need to keep looking at the structure. But this is what I want you to remember. Don't go after a person's likeness, go after their construction. It was once said to me, go after a person's structure and the likeness will come right in. You don't have to worry about making it look like them. Go after the structure of their face, okay? All right, so let's start off with this girl's head right here. And first thing we're going to do is draw a sphere. And then we're going to determine what is the 2D axis of her face. And what I mean by that is she leaning this way, or is she leaning this way? And probably she's kind of leaning just slightly this way. So you're like, which way is that, Kurt? She is slightly probably leaning this way here. All right. That's the 2D axis. And then her chin is slightly up. It's not, you see, it's not drooped down. She's looking up. She's like, hey, I think I know that person over there. Okay. So here we're going to draw the brow line. All right. As if we're looking up at her face. And then the next thing we want to do is along that brow line, we want to put the center line of her face. And let me show you where that is, so there's no surprises here. You know, that center line is going to be the center of her eyes right there. So where is this? This is going to be, and this is going to be right about there. And that's going to be parallel to the angle of her face, okay? Now, with all that being said, now I'm going to take my pencil and just kind of like, I'm just going to kind of gesture this outside edge of her face coming down, you see? Now let's get the side of her head. Side of her head is at her temple. Her temple is going to be right there, right where she has the piercing, and the other temple is going to be over here. So we're going to Side of her head right there. Position of her nose is going to be somewhere in there. Position of her mouth. Position of her chin. Okay, this would be her visor. This is the plane from the top of her brow to the inside part of her eyes. That right there is going to be her eye line. That's going to be her cheek. This also follows the parallel of the angle of the head and the center line. Remember, this whole side is flat now. And then her jaw is going to be here. Look at this. The side of her cheek is way over here. This is just gorgeous. It just comes right around like this. Okay. That's the beginnings of this. So now on this we can begin to start to add her features. And you could see without even putting her features in that getting that getting those basic structures, it starts to look like her. And we haven't even put in her eyes or her nose. So this is the first stage. You really want to get good at this process, and this will make your portrait drawings that much better. All right, let's bring up another one now. Let's get rid of both of those. And let's go with this guy here. Okay. Okay, what's the angle? The 2D angle of his head. Okay, he's definitely going like this. We can see that right away. That's the angle of his head. Oh, I forgot to draw a sphere. That's the angle of his head. All right, let's just put a little mark. There's his oh, my brain is going away. His temple. All right. What's that angle? Look at that angle there. All right, so let's get his brow line now. So we've got his 2D. He's the 3D. He's like turning away from us, right? So we can see really the underside of his chin. So if we're looking up at him, he's going to be like this, right? All right, so there's one temple there, right? Now, let's be careful here. This might even have to be even more angled. There's the center line. And there is his other temple. Does that look about right? Yeah, that looks pretty good, that angle right there. So we look for the 2D axis, the 3D axis, and then the face placement. So that's where we're at. I put face and temples. You get these four things down solid, and then it starts coming together, okay? If you're off in any of these four aspects, things start to go south on you really fast. All right, let's get the side of his head in here. So it's going to be something like this. Ooh, I just did that. I'm going to change the angle there slightly. There it is. Remember, this has got to match this. It's got to match this. Even the side of his face is going to match that same angle. Okay, now let's get the visor in first. I'm going to show you why here in a minute. So this is going to come in at an angle like this. That's going to come in at an angle like this. Then that's going to angle down, same thing. And then we get his cheek. And that's also going to angle just like this. The reason why I did that is because look closely. Look at his nose here. Look at the tip of his nose compared to where it's closely aligned to the temple. You see that? So if we were going to put that nose in, it's going to be something like this. Okay, we're going to drop this down just a bit to the corner here. That's going to be the jaw. And then it's going to come under. Those all match. I'll add a little tone underneath here so you can see the underside of his chin. When you start building your forms like this, it's easier to get things looking correctly, especially in a difficult pose. Okay. Ear usually falls down in this quadrant right in here. So if I just, to test myself, here's the bottom of his ear. If I use a horizontal line, that should pass right through the center of his eye. Let's see how close we were right there. If I go horizontal, oh, look at that. Bam. My nose is a little bit off, but hey, it hit that eye almost dead on. Okay, so there you go. That was a good test. Okay, let's bring up our last head here and do that one more time. This is a good exercise just to bang a bunch of these out like this. Then you can come back and work on some more of those details. All right, there's our sphere. All right, that's the angle of my head. Okay, now she is looking down and her head is coming towards us. We could see more of the top of her head than the underside of her neck. So we know that this brow line is going to be this way. Temple, temple, center line. Let's see, where's that temple going to be? We're going to go right about there. Okay, I might have to, this is the time to make adjustments. Center line's going to be there, and then the other temple's going to be up there. Okay, let's take the side of that sphere off there, right? Straight line here now. Straight line down the side like that. Okay, the visor for the eyes is going to come down like this. Now over here, this is an interesting, her cheeks coming from behind. You see that? All right, jaw's going to come down a little bit, and it's going to swing around. Just like before, this ear is in this lower quadrant. Here comes her nose. Eye is going to be over here. All right, barrel of the mouth. Chin. Okay. And that right there, that is the underlying structure that you want to start to trying to imagine when you are drawing your portraits. Now, as you draw along, you do make adjustments. Like right away I could see that, like here's something I could see immediately. Like I see this eye in position to this one, and her right eye is a little bit lower, but over here that means I'd have to adjust the position a little bit lower like this, you see? But approaching head drawing with that base structure in mind will really set you up for success. All right, that's what I got for today. My name's Kurt. This is Dad Who Draws, and this has been the Daily Draw. 3 heads, 3 different structures, all within 30 minutes, okay? All right. Hey, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's character design. All right. Make your day great. Bye-bye.